it's nowhere near where it needs to be, right? The effort that has to go in to play baseball on the level that you guys are competing at is substantial, right? It's like if you go in and say you're going up against these guys and you get a C on that math test, yeah, that's good if you're playing baseball at a low level, but you want an A, right? Well, it's the same mindset. It's don't focus on doing enough to get by and don't focus on being good when things are easy. It's pushing, 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 because that one play, maybe that happens once a game. That's the difference between winning and losing. And if you've prepared for that, then you'll be able to perform when it happens. And that's the big thing. You can't just turn it on and off. It has to happen at home. It has to happen at school so that it can happen on the baseball diamond as well.
Oh man, that's great. That's that's the best advice I've heard in quite a while. And I'm not just saying that. We've had some, but competing in everything that you do every day, making your bed, big bowl of cereal for you to say, hey, you know what? I got a C in this, and that's good, and I'm passing, and it's all good. But your competitive drive just allows you to say, you know what? I could do better than that. And challenging yourself is great, man. At this age, I don't know, there's some of them on here that are getting 4.0s already. And some that are maybe not. I don't know where they're all at, but I know for the most part, most of these kids are really striving. So that extra competitiveness, whether you have a brother or not, should still stay within yourself. Now, let me ask you this. I know your dad wasn't that competitive.
I think my mom takes the cake as far as the trash talking goes.
Yeah, for sure.
We heard her in the stands when she came and watched Aiden a couple times.
I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's cool. So just to go off of the school, I want to continue on high school and how you guys achieved that. And then how it guided you to where you went for college, and then from there, what your goals were. Everybody dreams about the NFL, but I know, knowing your parents, they also instilled you got to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. So if you guys could talk on that, that'll especially. Well, we'll start with the highest GPA. How about that?
That's fair.
Yeah, sure. Well, college is funny because you put all this effort into high school, and school it's everything that then no matter where you choose to go to school, it's going to be a completely different experience, right? You could go to school in London, you could go to school at UCLA just down the freeway. It's an entirely new world. So the biggest thing there is not having long-term goals, but the higher you go up, it's the short-term goals that make a difference, right? You can't just step foot on a college campus as a freshman and say, I'm going to play in the MLB one day. It doesn't work that way. Or I'm going to play in the NBA, NFL one. It doesn't work that way. It's at tomorrow's practice when we're conditioning, I'm going to come in first at least 5 times. It comes in, I want to bench this many pounds by the end of the month, right? It's the little goals. And you stack those up day after day after day, and then before you know it, it's your junior year, and you're like, "Hey, I'm actually doing all right at this thing, right?" But it would be like showing up the first day of a chemistry class and saying, "I'm going to memorize the entire periodic table," right? No, that it doesn't work that way. And by shooting too high, you're going to discourage yourself, and you're going to do it. But if you go day after day, day 1, I'm going to memorize these elements. Day 2, I'm going to memorize this column. Day 3, I'll memorize this column, right? You stack things on top of each other. And I think back to a lot of players who maybe didn't achieve the success that they thought, the coaches thought that they were going to make. And a lot of times it's not because they didn't work hard or they were distracted. A lot of times that is the case, but quite often it's also they just didn't focus on the short-term goals, right? Like if you want to run a marathon, you can't just wake up and say, I'm going to run 23 miles today, right? No. This week I'm going to get my mile down to 8 minutes. Next week I'm going to run 5 miles. The week after, right? So small-term goals, I would say, is a key component for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot about what Brock was just saying is consistency. I remember when I was my first day at Valencia, I was small. I was fast, but I wasn't the fastest on campus. I wasn't the best athlete on campus. But I was consistent in my work ethic every single day. I wasn't going to be outworked in the weight room, and I wasn't going to get beat on the field. And that was my mentality. And of course it happened. Of course I got beat on the field. And of course I wasn't the strongest on my team every time. But that mentality, that consistency of today, I'm going to be a little bit better. Today I'm going to be a little stronger. Today I'm going to be a little bit faster. And if you just do that every day, my running back coach at Cal used to say, in the middle of camp when everybody's tired, nobody wants to hit, it's 100 degrees outside. My coach used to always say, just give me 1%. Just get 1% better today than you were yesterday. Because if you keep stacking 1% on 1% on 1, you're going to look back and I'm a completely different player. I'm a completely different person now. Only because I focus that extra 1% every single day. You like Brock said, you can't do everything at once. But if you're able to consistently tell yourself, today I'm going to get better at this. Tomorrow I'm going to get better at this. Set those short-term goals and keep them short-term until you accomplish them. Don't say, okay, I was supposed to do this today and I didn't get there. So forget it. I'll move on to the next goal. No, you got to keep, we build a house brick by brick, stone by stone. You can't just leave a stone out and then just keep going with the building process. Everything has to go together. And if you are able to stay consistent with your goals, stay consistent, not even goals, just stay consistent with your work ethic. Even if you don't have goals, stay consistent with your work ethic. How you practice is how you play. And that's Bill Belichick. That's the Patriots. That's why they're so good. It's not that they have better players than everybody. Of course, Tom Brady helped. But at the same time, you saw what happened last year when he wasn't playing that well and there was nobody really around him to kind of pick the team up. You practice how you play. And if you're a fool to take practice lightly, you're going to look like a fool on Sunday or on game day. Take those reps. Every rep counts, and just be consistent with yourself and how you show up and how you work.
Wow, that's good stuff. Yeah, I could see even me and myself. I'm going through my stages of life. You get discouraged, when you have small goals and you're not hitting them. And it may not be that day you're not hitting it. And it may not be for like a month until you finally hit it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And what you guys are touching on is it's great. It's life experience. It's not just athlete experience. It's life. And what you're talking about in going into college, starting as these kids going into high school and then going into possibly college. Let's take care of first things first.
Yeah.
And work on that, which is high school, and then let's work on 9th grade, and then with 10th grade, and then keep on going from there, and then start progressing.
Yeah.
I think what you said is not getting discouraged on the small time goals where you kind of fail yourself at sometimes. So you have to. How would you say? What would you do? Reassess yourself? How would you go about that? Those slumps, or maybe those days where you're frustrated with yourself that you don't even want to continue. I don't know if you've been in that situation, but I know I've been in it plenty of times.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of times. I mean, frustrated with injuries all the time. There was a year I tore a muscle, came back, tore it again. There's some days where you're just laying in bed like, I don't even want to get out of bed and go to practice right now. But those are the days, my dad always said, the days that you don't want to do it. Those are the days that you hit your goal. Those are the days that you get better. Those are the days that you stack up because you did get out of bed and you practiced and you worked hard when you didn't want to. Those are the days that you get that extra step on the competition, because everybody fails. Everybody has days that they don't want to practice, or they don't want to go to school, they don't want to take a test. But the days that you have those, okay, if I get through this, I'm going to be better than somebody else out there. I'm going to get a leg up. I'm going to get a step on somebody. And so those are the days that you need more than the days when you're feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, if you think about it, say just as a general number, there's 30 practices, right? Well, every single player and every single team is going to have rough days, slow days, days where you're wondering, why the heck am I even out here? I'm hot, I'm miserable, and 3 ground balls have rolled through my legs, right? Well, every single player is going to have that. But like Shane said, say out of 30 practices, there's 5 of those days. If you choose to still work hard and get better on those 5 days, when every other team chooses to fold and tank and woe is me and feel sorry for themselves, well, you're now 5 days better than every other team. You know what I mean? Everybody is going to have bad practices. If you get better at something, you just make more room between you and the next team. And moments like that show up in games too, right? How many championship games have you seen in any sport where there's some major comeback in the fourth quarter, right? You start off slow, you don't go in the tank. You just fight. That only happens if it happens in practice, right? Man, there was a slow practice, but we fought back and we finished it strong. That's going to show up in a big time game as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just to even think about that is one of those things that, you know, nobody ever thinks of those as, you know, looking at you and Brock and Shane, looking at you guys, oh, you guys just had it all good. And, you know, Shane, you won a Super Bowl. Brock, you went to the NFL. You went to like 3 teams, and, you know, it's no big deal. You know, but they don't realize those small time goals, those failures where, you know, they didn't know about you. You tore your bicep twice in 1 year, and that's devastating. I mean, I bet. And I don't know, Brock, did you ever get hurt to that bad, or?
College, yeah, definitely. In a college, had a knee surgery and a chest issue. They thought they were gonna have to operate on it. They didn't have to, but you know, those are definitely frustrating times. And you are not gonna find a single player in any sport who hasn't had some kind of speed bump, whether it be an injury or just a bad game or a bad season, right? I mean, you won't even find, it doesn't even have to be sports. You'll find a teacher who's had a rough week, but you know what? If he or she shows up and lets it get the best of them, now you have a room full of 30 kids who have bad days as well, right? If you're the CEO of a company and you have a bad week, well, now a company of 5,000 employees just had a bad week, right? It's a matter of taking accountability for it, being responsible for it, and understanding, hey, I could let this bad moment affect the entire team, or I can make it stop with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about let's go into the process of being recruited, and how that was for you guys. Like, how was it? Was it exciting? Was it scary? And then making your decision for the school that you want to go to, and why did you make that decision? And going into later in life, I guess, is where I'm leading to.
Yeah, shoot, it was definitely nerve wracking, because you guys will hear this when that time comes. It's not a 4-year decision; it's a 40-year decision. What college you choose to go to, because a lot of what happens after college is based upon those connections that you made in college, and where for me, Cal Bears, where they are in the world, and because you use the contacts that you get. So so from that standpoint, for the rest of my life, it was, you know, it's a big decision, and it was a nervous decision. The process it was fun, you know, because you're getting interest from different schools and stuff. I think that part was fun, but after a while, you get kind of tired, and you just want it to be over with, in a sense where you just want to know this school wants me and I want to go there. When you finally find that match, it's an amazing feeling. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun process. I'm not gonna lie. It is fun. It does get to be a lot. But at the end of the day, I chose a higher academic school, because I wanted to be challenged in that way as well. And it had a major that I wanted to major in, which was media. So that was a big part of it too.
Yeah, it's gonna be overwhelming, but any major decision is gonna be overwhelming. So as overwhelmed as you feel, no need to panic. And it's one of those things where your family and friends want you to succeed just as bad as you do. And it's a situation where you realize how many people you can reach out to for help, right? Whether it be your high school coach, whether it be a school counselor, whether it be a family member, a family friend, or a friend, anybody who wants to see you succeed. The biggest regrets I hear from other people's recruitment stories is they say, man, I wish I would have reached out to this person and talked to them about it. Or my cousin's neighbor went to that school, man, I should have asked them about, leave no stone unturned, as they say. So when that time comes, like Shane said, I went to Minnesota. I was a Golden Gopher, and I'm not, like he said, I'm not just a Golden Gopher for 4 years. I'll always be one, right? So take care with it. Ask as many questions as you possibly can. Do as much research as you possibly can, because a school isn't just gonna. A school's only gonna tell you the great things about it, or how much free food you can get, and how cool the dorms are. So it's one of those things where you got to do your own research as well. But the best advice I can give to that is reach out to as many people as possible.
And also, one more thing.
Yeah.
Also remember that, and I don't want this to come off bad, but I want you guys to really think about it. So when you're coming to make a decision, understand that you have to live with that decision for the next 4 years or however many years. Not your parents aren't going to college for you. So as much as you want their advice, at the end of the day, you must understand it's your decision, and you are going to have to live with that decision, good or bad. So just remember that and take ownership of your decision. That's it.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Brock, what were your studies?
Oh, yes. Sorry about that. I was a communications major. So along the same lines as Shane, media, whether it be writing or talking, whatever, anything from a media standpoint.
So that being said, let's talk about that. So you guys chose this. Okay, were they good football schools? And then number two, and were they? I know what they are. So, and I know what you. But what made you like? Okay, they had this, and they had your degree, and they had that. So tell me about why you chose that, and where you've gone from that college experience. Yeah.
Sure. So I grew up a Michigan fan. I would always root for Michigan. I don't know why. I think I just like the colors. So I knew everything about Big Ten schools because Michigan's in the Big Ten. I'd watch all the Michigan games. So I knew if the opportunity came, I would love to play in the Big Ten. And my mom is from Illinois, so we would go to the Midwest all the time growing up. And her brother, my uncle, actually lived right off campus, about 2 miles off campus. I could walk to his place from the school. And it's one of those things where the stars just align. I know the Big Ten. I've always wanted to play in the Big Ten. I have family here. Even though I'm 3,000 miles from home, I still have family just down the road. I had grandparents 5 hours away. It was just this beautiful mix of factors where I knew it was just the right place to be. And the winters were an issue for a while. Obviously, growing up out here, we don't get used to snow or negative 10-degree days, but no matter where you go, there's going to be hurdles, right? If you go to Arizona, there's going to be 120-degree days. No matter where you go, there's going to be something. But I knew that on my list of factors that I wanted to find in a school, Minnesota checked more of them off than any other school did. And, day one, you walk on campus and you're nervous and you're scared, but by day 50, it feels like home. And that's how you know you made the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I chose Cal A because I wanted to stay in California, but I didn't want to be in Los Angeles, but I wanted to be close. Wanted to get a good education. The one thing that Cal didn't check off for me, yes, we were a really good football team. But if you go to a school like Brock did in the Big Ten, like it's football country, like Big Ten, SEC, even the Big 12. Like, people live and breathe football out there. And so that's the one thing that I would say Cal lacked. I mean, don't get me wrong, the stadiums were full when we were like 8-0 and riding high. But at Minnesota and at other schools, the stadiums were full regardless. And those football towns or schools, just the vibe and feeling is just a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, I love my decision, and I would choose Cal again. But that was one thing that I think Cal didn't check, but they did make up for it in the fact that I was getting a good education, and I was going to be in California, and I was going to be in the Bay Area with great weather, no winter. So, you know, you gotta kind of play with it a little bit. And my mentality was, well, once I hit the field, we're going to be good anyway, so we're going to bring fans in here. You know, so it's a little extra motivating factor there. So yeah.
For sure. And then where have you guys gone with your degree? I know there's a couple times where you guys started when you guys were, I think when you guys were still in the NFL, you guys went to NFL Network. You started getting your foot into media, and now where you guys are in the gaming industry, online gaming, which is huge. I worked on several shows. You guys already know.
Yeah.
Online gaming is bigger than NFL, you know, bigger than MLB. It's big stuff. Tell me a little bit, or tell the kids more about that.
So I remember being in locker rooms with guys who waited until they were done playing football, or waited until they couldn't play football anymore to start that second career. And I always said to myself, like, I don't want to have to jumpstart something that I've never even dabbled in, because I might try it, I might not even like it. So while I was at Cal, I did an internship with a Comcast sports company to see if I did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And then once me and Brock got in the league, every off season, you know, NFL Network reaches out, ESPN reaches out to see if any guys want to come, and I would jump at every opportunity, A, for practice, B, to get your recognition out there. But C, just to see if I liked it and if it was something that I actually wanted to do, and just to kind of stay ahead of the eight ball. That way, when I was ready to retire and done playing football, I knew what I wanted to do, and I could just hit a couple emails, make a quick resume, send it to the people, the connections that I met, and we'd be off and running.
Yeah, along the lines of what Shane said, I can't tell you how many college teammates and pro teammates who just, from a college standpoint, didn't take their education seriously. I can't tell you how many guys I talked to who just knew they were going to go to the NFL and play for 100 years and didn't take school seriously. You ask them what they're majoring in, they couldn't even tell you. They're just finding the easiest thing to major in, and now have a degree that they don't care about and don't know what the next step's going to be. It's one of those things where, yes, all of your focus and attention is on what you're doing now, but if you wait until the next chapter to start learning on how to handle that next chapter, it's too late, and you're going to find yourself stuck in a rut, not knowing what to do. I majored in communications, like I said, and there was a local radio station that would have me on every Monday. We would talk about the previous game. We would talk about the upcoming game. And, eventually they trusted me a little bit. I got comfortable with the guys, and we just kind of started talking about everything. And that's when it became clear, oh, this is definitely what I want to do. One of the best pieces of advice I could get when you get to college is, if you think you know what you want to study, immediately find a job shadow or an internship or something. Because I'm telling you now, these people love any ambitious student who will reach out to them. I don't care if it's the head person or the person at the front desk. If you reach out and say, hey, can I just hang out with you guys for a week? I'm studying this. I just want to learn. Yes, because I can't tell you on the positive side of things how many people started in journalism and then they interned at a newspaper and were like, I don't want to do this. And they were able to flip to something they didn't want to do, right? So many people studied science and then they graduated like, I can't stand science. But guess what? You can't go back in time and redo the 4 years that you just spent studying it. No matter what you're interested in, whether it be college or elsewhere, if you think you have an interest in something, start it immediately so you don't waste your time pursuing it when really you need to be pursuing something else. But thankfully for me, my first hunch at what I wanted to do stuck. And like Shane said, we're always reaching out for opportunities to advance that. And Dave, you brought it up. So now the esports space, which has been a lot of fun, and if you're no longer running around on the field running into people, you can still find ways to compete. And now we're able to be in the world of competition that doesn't hurt your body as much. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're actually playing in the tournament on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. Yes.
For our e-gaming. So we started an e-gaming network called ESTV, and it's been around for probably like 6 to 8 months. So we're fairly new, still signing contracts and stuff like that. But it's like a 24/7 ESPN for e-gaming, if you will. Every game you could think of, we show on the network. And on Sunday, they're doing a big Call of Duty Warzone tournament to raise money for charity. And I think they have some professional guys like playing in it too. But me and Brock are playing in it, and a couple other NFL guys are going to be playing in it too. So I'm trying to get some kills.
That's
we got to show out. Me and Brock will be on the same.
Are you guys on the same team, or are you guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you guys were gonna be after each other.
Not
Next
the
time.
first week. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm over here trying to compete with all these guys with MLB The Show. Aiden.
Oh yeah.
Aiden will get me.
Good luck.
Barely, and then Nathan. I'm a little suspect on him. He has other people playing for him, I think.
You gotta be careful.
It's all good. Before we get into anything else, kids, players, do you guys have anything for him right now? Any things on college? On any advice that you guys have even thought about? Like even to recruiting. Do you guys have any questions?
Anything. Don't be scared. We've heard every question.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be shy. It doesn't matter.
Well, as you guys are thinking, just jump in, okay? I want you guys to jump in and just take advantage of this opportunity. I'm going to keep it going. And then what I want to ask you guys is coaches, good coaches, bad coaches. I know you guys played with a lot of good coaches. But then there might be some other coaches that you didn't agree with, and maybe how did you guys handle all that? And then Shane, for right now, Bill Belichick is at top of the world right now, right?
Right.
And
so I've been fortunate to have pretty good coaches. I mean, there's been a few but even the good coaches, when you're in high school or college, you're around them every single day, and in NFL. So even your favorite coach, you butt heads with sometimes. It's only natural. What I try to do is if there's a coach that maybe I don't agree with, or I don't understand why he's telling me to do something the way he is, I try to take it with a grain of salt. Try to understand from a bigger picture what he's trying to get from me, and then put it in my own terms, in my own head, think about it, and then react to it. Don't be, so quick just to say, no, that's not how I'm going to do it. That's not the right way. Maybe he's trying something with me so that maybe he's trying to get to a point from a roundabout way. Because, coaches are human too. We're all interacting together. We're all trying to figure out what's the best way to coach. What's the best way to be coached. So take what they're trying to teach you. There's no coach. Rarely, I haven't been experienced this, but there's not a coach that wants you to do bad, right? Because it makes them look bad. It's their job to help you be the best player that they can. Some are better at it than others, but that doesn't mean that they're not helping you. So try to understand what they're trying to get out of you, and then move forward from there. And don't be afraid to talk to coaches either. Honestly, some of the best relationships I have with my coaches, I still call my college coach. We probably talk on the phone once, twice a month, or we're texting. Like, don't be afraid to let them get to know you, and you get to know them as well.
Yeah, you'll never find an athlete who played anything long enough who didn't run into a coach that they didn't get along with for whatever reason. But like Shane said, it's about the team. It's not about you. So maybe there's a certain technique. Maybe the coach wants you to hold the ball a certain way or shoot your jump shot a certain way. And you say, hey, that's not what I'm comfortable with. That's not what I want to do. You just have to consider, well, maybe that's what's best for the team right now, right? And it's seeing the big picture, right? Well, why does coach want me to do this? Oh, because when we do this play, this, I have to be over here. Okay. Like by breaking things down, it becomes easier to understand. But one thing that that was pointed out to me pretty early on, because I had my DB coach at Minnesota was one of the meanest humans anyone has ever met. But he's successful everywhere he goes. So it's one of those things. Oh, of course. But it's one of those things, right? You look at a coach's track record, right? And have they had success where they've been? If that answer is yes, then you have to put your ego aside and say, hey, well, maybe this works, right? Let me just try it, right? Yes, you can hate this coach all you want. You can think he's evil. You can think this and that. But, hey, does he win? Yes, then do it, because that's what you're there to do at the end of the day, right? But one thing that I'd always been aware of since it was pointed out to me is, say you do have that coach that you butt heads with, you would rather have a coach scream at you every day than never say a word to you, right? Because if a coach isn't saying a word to you, what does that mean? He's not even thinking about you. You're not in the game plan. You're not even a thought in his mind. He's moved past you. A coach that's yelling at you cares about you. A coach that screams at you wants the best for you because you are part of the team. You are a puzzle piece that he can use, right? Year after year after year, when I was at Minnesota and I got older, we would see freshmen come in. They don't like this mean coach, and they shut down, and he screams at them, and he screams at them, and then 2 years later, they're standing on the sideline, not touching the field, and the coach doesn't even know their name anymore because they shut down and they don't respond to it, right? Any coach that's yelling at you is doing so because he cares about you, I guess, is the long story short, and never, ever, ever forget that.
Wow. The shutting down part is important because we could do that as humans really quick and take things personal. And like what you guys said, forget about – Kobe Bryant says it too, let go of your ego, let go of your ego and just do what needs to be done. Whatever it's going to be done, just do it the best you can. You guys talked about that in the beginning. Compete with him now. Compete with your coach is what I say. Raise the bar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Match him. Match his intensity. If you're in that intense, then you won't buckle down and bear down and then give up and be on the sidelines and then complain and say, I don't know, I'm one of the better ones. I'm better than that guy. Yeah, you may be. You may be, but you didn't show it during that
right.
necessary.
I cannot tell you how many talented guys never saw the field. Yeah, they were more talented than the guy on the field, but the guy on the field played better or did what the coaches was asking, where it was in the right spot when they needed to be. Their fundamentals were key. Their fundamentals were on point. That when there's a guy who's super talented with whatever it may be, might be a receiver, he's sloppy in technique. He's sloppy in catching the football, or hitting if it's 2 outs and it's an easy pop fly. A player who's technical does the same thing every time. A player who's talented and just gets by on his sheer talent will maybe try and do something a little fancier, may bounce off the glove, and now it's an error. So be cognizant of that, and technique and fundamentals is huge, especially when you get to high school and college. That because everybody's good now. So what separates you from the other good guy is your technique and your fundamentals. Do you watch the ball all the way in when you're trying to catch it? Is your eye on the ball when it's hitting the bat? Those little things matter more the higher you start to go.
And why is that? Why is your technique and fundamentals more important during this critical time? We heard it from our other coach that was on not too long ago, but he talked about this is the pivotal point in their a career, I guess you would say, if they were striving to be a career, to learn. Because as you go higher, you don't get coached as much. I don't know.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. But also as you move on, as you go higher, like you start to weed players out, and the only thing that's left, they say, the cream rises to the top. As you keep going in your careers and you keep playing baseball, you keep getting better, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
And what worked in 9th grade is not going to work in 11th grade. What worked in 11th grade isn't going to work your senior year, and it probably won't work if you play in college. But what always works is your technique and your fundamentals. I've seen guys who are slow, out of shape, but their fundamentals are so good the coach can't take them off the field. Like, they're just right. Like, their hands are perfect. Their body positioning is perfect every single time. And that's how I mean, bro, we've been in a locker room with guys and we're like, how are you here? Like, how are you still in the league? It doesn't even make sense, but it's because they're where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be. Simply.
Yeah. Going along with the football comparison, why fundamentals will always reign supreme is because, every defense runs different coverages. Every offense has different plays. Every offensive scheme has receivers who run a different type of route, right? This team runs a post pattern this way. This team runs in a completely different way. But what never changes is being able to catch a ball, being able to kick a ball, being able to tackle, right? There's certain things about every sport that no matter what team you play for, what coach you play for, will never change. And that's the fundamental. So as long as you can do those well, a coach knows, okay, maybe he doesn't, to compare it to a baseball standpoint, okay, maybe he doesn't have this pitch in his tool bag. Maybe he struggles hitting sliders. Maybe he isn't the fastest guy and he can't steal from second to third. But you know what? He can field the ground ball. That's 80% of the game right there. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't mean to speak for Coach David here, but Coach would rather have a guy who could field the ground ball and catch a pop fly 100% of the time than a dude who has a nice slider, all right? Because that slider is going to pop up 12 pitches out of the game. That ground ball could come to you 30 times a game, right? It's all about the fundamentals, and if you master those, any coach will find a way to use them.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. That's something that we try to work on constantly, but I think sometimes we get away from it as 14-year-olds can, and they don't know that.
The problem with fundamentals is that they're boring, right? They're really, really boring, and that's why they're the hardest thing to work on, because you're thinking, man, I caught 100 pop flies yesterday. I don't need to do it today. Yes, you do, because it goes back to the thing, you don't prepare for the easy moments. You prepare for when the pressure's on. And when the pressure's on, you're going to wish you caught 10,000 pop flies so that you can make sure you catch this one for the third out to finish the game.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Coach Vinci, anybody have any questions so far? Don't be shy, guys.
I don't. I want to thank the Vereen brothers for being here with us. I think they're excellent communicators. Obviously, everybody's already seen that, and I think that's
they have
really
a degree, and they both have degrees in it.
Yeah, I didn't miss that story either time. Yeah, I got it both times, and that's what I'm saying. You can tell. I mean, it makes it so exciting. I mean, your guys' delivery, you guys are just making it exciting for guys at this age that we're coaching. As coaches, that's the challenge, right? Is to keep it exciting for them, because we can lose them really quick if we make it boring.
Oh, then we lost him.
Yeah. He has bad
practice is really important. And no, you guys are doing great, man. I mean, keep going. You guys are awesome. No questions for me.
Thank you.
So we'll go on into what you guys accomplished in your pro career. I mean, I know that's one of the pinnacles that these guys want to hear. Aiden got to wear one of your rings, Shane. Brock, you went on to 3 different NFL teams, and you're defensive back of picked by coaches. That's crazy. I mean, what were you like? Number I think it was like 6 in the nation or something. I don't know what it was. It was high, but even then, even at 50, that's 50 DBs that are the whole nation that is super. I mean, that's unbelievable to think about that. If you put it in terms of numbers, it's pretty crazy. And what kind of advice can you guys, or just talk about what you guys did? That's all good.
I mean, I was blessed to have good teammates, be on some pretty good teams, and I think the year we won the Super Bowl in New England, after 4 games we were 2-2, and we had just gotten blown out on Monday Night Football by the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. It was embarrassing. We lost by like 30, but on that next day at practice, Bill said, look, we can go 2 directions. We can either put our tail between our legs, and this is the nice way of saying it, put our tail between our legs and we can play 12 more games and everybody can go home and enjoy their off season. Or we can put our head down and grind this thing out and just see what we are doing in January and February. And at that point, everybody was saying Bill sucks, Tom should retire. We need to blow up the team. And then we ended up going. We only lost 1 more game for the rest of the season, so we were 11-1 from that point on. And then we ended up winning the Super Bowl, obviously. But it's just a small mind change from winning and losing. It's a mentality. And I would say, as far as preparation is concerned, I never took the field feeling that we were going to lose. And a lot of that was because we practiced well, and we practiced better than the other team. We were so well prepared that I didn't know what the situation was going to be when we took the field, but I knew no matter what, that we had a solid chance of winning the game. And that type of confidence is hard to come by, and that's what a lot of teams strive for, especially at that level. But I will say this about accomplishments. It's funny because even my dad played, but he told me, he's like, Shane, you won a Super Bowl, and I'm super proud. He goes, but nothing made me more proud than when you got your college degree. And he said the same thing about my brother too. And so it just goes to show you that, take that stuff seriously. It just goes back, take that stuff seriously, because that's going to take me a lot farther than any Super Bowl ring can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shane hit on the football stuff perfectly, but from the academic standpoint, I mean, you could go on to play baseball for 30 years, right? You could have the longest career ever. You could win 30 World Series, 30 Gold Gloves, whatever you want. You could have the best career of all time. At some point, you're going to stop playing, and you have about 50 years of life left, all right? So, like, no matter how many Super Bowls, NBA championships, Stanley Cups, it doesn't matter. Your life outside of your sport is going to be twice as long as your life in the sport, right? So from a standpoint of accomplishments, the most successful people I had been around on the field were just as successful off the field, right? It's not just a coincidence that a guy like a Tom Brady, who is the greatest quarterback ever, also is great from a money standpoint. He's great from a medical standpoint. He's extremely healthy, right? I'm not one of his family members, but his family raves about him. His friends rave about him, right? Guys who can compete at that level are good at everything that they do. You understand what I'm saying? Like that, I don't know if you guys are watching the Michael Jordan documentary that's been on ESPN for the last month or so, but his competitiveness never turned off, right? Even when he took off his jersey and he went home, he was always competitive. Certain things you can't turn off. And the guys who were accomplished, who were very accomplished on the field, were just as accomplished off the field. The great ones, I should say, right? From a guy like Aaron Rodgers to the Tom Brady's to the Marshall Faulks, no matter how far back you go, guys who dominated on the field find ways to dominate off the field. So that college education allows you to remain competitive when you're done playing. It allows you a door to walk in and continue dominating in something when your playing days are over.
Wow, that's just a progression of what you guys just said when you first started. Being competitive when you from when you start being competitive, you know, when you're a 14-year-old or even younger, making your bed, getting a good bowl of cereal, and just making your mindset and making your mindset get better every single day, every single week, whatever it may be, month, year, and then not really over, what do you say? You don't want to oversell yourself, but you want to be confident in your abilities to get to where you need to be and then continue to go. I think one of the biggest things for me as a 45-year-old is never stop learning. I'm never stop learning. This time right now, I'm not working, okay? But I'm a coach. These kids are working, and most of them are working at home on their off days. And we have this practice three times a week, right? Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And then I'm also taking classes on sports nutrition. Why? Because I want to give back to them. And what you're saying is more so to the point where do you want to leave people when you're done? What do you want to leave with someone to when you're done so they could carry on? And I think you guys both model that. You, Shane and Brock, have really modeled that in your lives. And for myself, your dad has been a huge, huge influence in my life. Yeah, I tell everybody he's my life mentor. I've known him since I was 19 years old. So 25 years now. I remember you guys coming in and Michael Jackson 5 at Duke City. And then the tech room. Man, it was the funniest thing, but it was so cute, man. You guys used to come in, and my daughter, I think she was maybe 1 or 2 at the time, but I was like, man, I can't wait until they get to that age. And look at you guys now, still the same thing, you know, still having fun, but having a direction, but still knowing what you're gonna do. Going into the esports, ESTV, right? You said esports TV.
Yeah.
And you just that's anywhere, right? Is that a subscription or is it a free service?
If you have Roku, it's on Roku. If you have a Samsung TV, it's on there. Like it's preloaded on there. It's on Sling TV now.
Amazon Fire Stick. A couple other places. By this time next year, it'll be everywhere.
Yeah, but it's free. You just click on it. It's cool.
That's crazy. And then what you guys are doing too, you guys are both commentating for Fox Sports West, right? College and high school. Or Brock, and then you're doing those other promos, right?
Yes. So shoot, again, it goes back to college, a communications degree, and Shane's was in media as well. At some point, you're going to stop playing, and you're not just going to sit around at home all day doing nothing, all right? You're going to want to get out there and do stuff, and thankfully, my degree has helped me from interviewing people to calling games, and Shane, the same exact thing. Never just put one how does the phrase go that I'm about to butcher? Never put all your eggs in one basket. You're never going to just want to do one thing the rest of your life. I don't care how much fun it is. I could give you the best steak from the best steakhouse every single day for the rest of your life. After about a year, you're going to say, I'm sick of this. I never want to have steak again, right? That's just not how our brains work. Have other interests, pursue other interests, and, you never know when you could turn one of those into a potential career.
Cool. Well, this is our time, I guess. So
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys jumping on and this late notice, and these are things that we want to leave. I was fortunate to call in a favor and ask you guys, but you guys always do it for me. You guys done it
always.
You guys done it for our teams in the past, and I really appreciate it, because this is their future right here, and that's what I want to try to do. I want to pursue leaving them with the sense that, you know what, these kids are just like these adults that did it. They were just like me, and look where they are now, and I could do it. And I think you guys fit that model, and especially for being homegrown out here in Santa Clarita Valley. You guys both went to Valencia. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot for the kids. So I appreciate your guys' time. We'll open it up to anybody else have any quick questions real quick. If not, then we'll get going. Does anybody have any questions on college, sports, what they did?
If you guys think of any, David has my information. If you want to reach out to me, I can send in my email if you'd rather do that. We're open books. Don't hesitate to reach out. We have a lot of information that it's just stored in our brain. So if you guys just want to know about anything, I don't care. It could be how I train, what we eat, what books I read, anything. I don't care. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, I appreciate that. Was that somebody? All right, cool. Well, I appreciate that. I'll let you guys. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, what year was it when you guys won the Super Bowl, and you guys just had to dig in and get after it?
Yeah, 2014, and it was Super Bowl 49.
The point I'm trying to make is I was 6 years ago, and because you guys got totally defeated, or however you put it, right, on that one game, everybody said, oh, Brady should retire, Brady this, and 6 years later, what's the guy doing? And my point is, you got to have thick skin. You have to have thick skin in sports. You can't let somebody just tell you to pack it up and then you just listen to them. And I just, I think that's really, really a great point. I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, cool. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Much love for you guys. You guys take care. I'll see you guys soon, but I appreciate this time. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, David.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. See you, Aiden. Bye.
Hey, Ambassador, stay on real quick. Good. What you guys think?
Some good info.
Yeah, right? Some good stuff on what to expect for college. A lot of
How they didn't like what happened, what their degree got them to, like their plan B, how it helped them like get another job that they enjoyed using.
Yeah, they prepared for the rest of their life. Anybody else? Scotty, Wesley, Logan, Jason, Shane.
I liked how they were always telling us to get a good degree, and if you ever think that's something that you have interest in, to just go for it instead of wasting your time.
Yeah. Wesley?
Yeah.
What'd you like about this meeting?
Oh, I liked how they told us after, when you only have a couple years in the professional league of what sports you play, and how to have a backup plan, and a degree and go to college and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that actually for them was their plan A. The backup plan was being in the NFL. So they always strived for it, and they were there, but they planned according to what they were going to be for something that did happen, because injury does happen, guys, and that was what they're. So they planned for what they were going to do. Nathan, what do you think?
I liked how they compared sports to their like real life thing, like school and stuff, and how, yeah.
Logan, you on?
Yes, I am on. I thought it was really good because they showed you that you have like twice or 3 times as many years than you do in sports that you actually have in the rest of your life. So I like how they prioritize, like, hey, you got to get your schoolwork done. You got to get a good degree. You got to think of the long run rather than I'm just going to go to the NFL and I'm going to be able to last for like 7 to 10 years and then I'm going to be bankrupt. So I really liked how they explained it thoroughly.
Yeah, they did. They did a really good job. Jason.
Yes.
What you like about it? Jason, you're on mute.
I know.
Oh.
I couldn't hear you. It was lagging.
What do you like? What you like about today's conference?
Wait, what?
What you like about today's conference?
I liked how they talked about like the skills of going to college. Now you have to be dedicated to it.
Yeah, and what you get out of it?
What?
What you get out of that? How do you have to be dedicated to it? What you have to?
I don't know.
All right, all good. Shaner? Shane? You there? No? No, Shane? All right, fellas. Well, listen, Coach, what you get out of it? I thought today was great on education and doing all this is doing all the prep work for these kids. You guys are starting with the little things, right? Or points on the little things, starting out being competitive into making your own bed and striving for that in your grades and everything you do. Remember, these guys had a 4.0 or higher. Shane had a 4.0 and Brock had a 4.5. Who has a 4.0 right now? Mikey, Scotty, awesome. Who has a 3.5? What about a 3.0? All right.
I have a 4.0.
Awesome. So the key right now when you guys get into high school is to maintain that, okay? Because when you get a 4.0, you're going to get more academic scholarships than sports. So just to let you guys know, baseball doesn't have a whole lot of academics, a whole lot of athletic scholarships. Just so you know, they don't have money there. Nobody goes to watch baseball. They go to watch football and they go to watch basketball. So they're going to get a full ride there. You won't get a full ride unless you're outstanding, which I believe any one of you guys can be. I really do. But you guys have to work on that academic and to get every school looking at you. If you want every school and have choices, get that academic in line and keep it in line throughout your years. And they're going to see that if you put that priority and start thinking about your career where you want to be leaving. I think today was a good point for you to start really thinking about what you want to do in life after baseball. I think you start writing down colleges that you want to go to, not only because of their name and because of baseball, but because of what you want to do. So my challenge to you guys, and when we get on next week, we'll talk about it. I want you guys to write at least 50 colleges that you guys want to go to, from junior college to universities.
Wait, 50?
50. And it could be in any state. So basically what I'm giving you guys is some research into colleges and start looking into that. We got nothing else to do, right, guys? You guys have more time than ever. Your school has been cut in half. I know it because Aiden gets done in like 3 hours. So listen, you guys have the ability to do it. I believe in all of you guys. You guys been getting on these phone calls. You guys been faithful to that, and I really appreciate it. I know Coach Vince appreciates it too, because it just keeps us wanting to coach more. You guys do that are faithful on here. I really do appreciate that. Coach, you want to leave with anything else, and then maybe pray it up? You keep on preaching on us.
You want to do. You guys can always do a search of, colleges, universalized in that kind of field that you just suggestion. And then if not, I mean, if you don't know what you want to do, then, you might want to pick one because of the sport that interests you and that they're good at it. And they have a good program there and stuff like that. There's just some suggestions. But other than that, I thought the call was excellent. I was really excited to hear them talk. They were to the point about everything. Even when they were having fun, it was really, the pace was really awesome, which I think is important, right? When you're trying to make a point, and the delivery was great. I thought they brought up a whole bunch of good points, and I think we already talked about most of them. But there was a lot that they said there because they've experienced it firsthand that I think was really cool, even for coaches, right, for us in our perspective to listen to. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was really good. Yeah, that's all I have, though.
Cool. Well, someone want to lead us in prayer? Anybody? Coach, want to lead us?
I'd like to be a hard pass right now.
Sounds like everybody else. All right, let's pray it up. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you giving you praise and thanks, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity always, Lord, because you have given us this time where we could learn and learn from other people. We've had several calls where we've been edified in the point where we could improve our athletic ability, to improve our academic ability. And Lord, as we're together in fellowship, we could even improve our faith ability and believing in you, that you have provided a way for us to reach out to these people and to be here at this moment on the ambassadors team, the team that you have put together, and knowing that you are faithful to us, and knowing that we can always count on you to make things happen. And when we're in the middle of a storm, things that may seem like terrible, you always make a way if we are faithful. It's so important that we understand that, Lord, and that the more that we're obedient in life, to you, to the things that we are pursuing, the more the reward of or the gratitude is going to be more accepted when we're able to accomplish the goal or the outcome that we're looking towards. There will be trials. There will be heartache. There will be times where we give up, Lord, and we thank you for being there for us, Lord. So, Lord, I just ask that you just penetrate each person's heart today, Lord, that you penetrate them and know that you love them, Lord, that you show them the love, and that we are here together, and that we're here to continue to get stronger together mentally, physically. And we ask this in your son, Jesus' name, to hear our prayer and to watch over us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, fellas, good job. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. If you guys have questions, send me them. I got their information. You said it right there. You saw it. They're willing to help, even when you're, hit me up. That's so cool to do that. So you guys have a good night and good weekend.